Losing weight fast is actually easy, but before you think this is another clickbait video, let me be specific about who this is for. If you have a 9 to 5 with predictable hours, plenty of free time and no real responsibilities outside of work, this video is not for you. There are thousands of generic fitness channels that will tell you how to meal prep on Sundays and hit the gym 6 days a week. This is for the founder who just got off a red-eye flight and has a board meeting in 5 hours. The executive who has 5 client dinners this week and the family that actually wants to see them. Or the entrepreneur who has solved every problem in their business but cannot seem to crack this one. And the tech professional who spends hours at their desk and is constantly working. If that is you, losing weight fast is not only possible, it is simpler than you have ever been led to believe, and let me show you exactly how. Here's the frustrating reality. You are surrounded by fitness advice that was not built for your life. Every program assumes you have hours to spend in the gym, every diet assumes you can control every meal, every coach assumes that your schedule is predictable. And when you cannot stick to these programs, you think the problem is you. It is not. The problem is that you are trying to force a system designed for someone who lives a completely different lifestyle. You have probably tried some restrictive diets like keto, Atkins, or intermittent fasting. They work for a week or two until you have a business trip or a social event and the whole plan falls apart. You have probably tried going to the gym more, but you end up doing the same random routine every time or whatever machine is available. You put in the time, but you do not look like it. The problem is that nobody has shown you how to get results within your actual constraints. You do not need more willpower, you don't need more time, you need a different approach entirely. And that approach starts with understanding a simple math equation that changes everything. Here's what actually drives fat loss. It's not complicated. You need to be in a calorie deficit consistently enough that your body taps into stored fat for energy. That's it. Everything else is just a method to achieve that outcome. The reason it feels so hard is because most methods require you to overhaul your entire life, but there is a smarter way. A good rate of progress when it comes to fat loss is around 0.5 to 1.5% body weight, not body fat, loss per week. For most men, that is about 0.9 kilos per week, and for most women, that's about 0.5 kilo a week. This is fast enough to see real results within weeks, but sustainable enough that you are not actually dragging yourself through every single day. The key insight is this: you do not need to control every single meal. You just need to control the meals that are easy to control and have a strategy for the ones that are not. If you have 28 meals per week, so 4 meals a day for 7 days, and only one is a business dinner, you barely need to think about that one single meal. But if you have 10 meals out per week, you need a system. But even then, it is manageable once you know how to bank calories for larger or social meals. This is how people lose 10 kilos in 10 weeks while traveling abroad frequently and eating out regularly. They are not being perfect, they are being strategic about the 80% that they can control. But knowing the math is useless if you don't know what to actually eat. Let me break it down to you in a way that does not require you to become a nutritionist. Here's the truth about nutrition that most coaches as well as nutritionists don't actually understand. Eating chicken breast and broccoli 4 times a day would get you absolutely shredded. But it would also make you miserable and it would destroy your social life. So a successful plan is never about restriction, it is about making small tweaks to how you already eat that move you closer to the goal without making you want to quit. Food breaks down into 4 simple categories. Lean protein like chicken breast, turkey breast, white fish or egg whites. Fatty proteins such as other meats like beef, lamb or pork or fattier fish. The third category would be carbs like rice, potatoes and bread. And carbs are not the enemy, but they're also not essential, so you can easily reduce them to make quicker progress without any negative consequences. And lastly, the fourth category is fats, which come in 2 forms. Tangible fats like nuts, avocado and cheese that you can see and touch, and sneakier fats such as oils and dressings and sauces that will boost the calorie value of your meal without filling you up. Your strategy should be simple. Build your meals around lean protein. Be aware of fatty protein because even though it's healthy, it adds up fast in terms of calories. Filter out any excess carbs when it is easy to do so, and watch out for sneaky fats because they are the silent killer when it comes to most people's progress. You can always see if there's a potato on your plate. You cannot see the 300 calories of olive oil that your salad has on. Now, this approach means that you can eat out at restaurants, enjoy social meals, and still make progress. You are not following a rigid meal plan, you are learning how to navigate any food situation for the rest of your life. But here's where most busy professionals still fail. They know what to eat, but they think they cannot find the time to train. So let me show you why you need way less time than you think. If I told you that you only need to train 3 times per week for a total of 2 to 3 hours a week to get in the best shape of your life, would you believe me? Most people do not. They think more is better, but for someone with your schedule, more is actually worse. And here's why. Most people follow training splits that require 4 to 6 sessions per week. Chest on Monday, back on Tuesday, legs on Wednesday. The problem is when you miss a day, and you will miss days, entire body parts go untrained for weeks. 2 busy Mondays in a row means no chest training for 3 weeks. These programs create fragile systems that break the moment life gets busy. Your solution is full body training 3 times per week. Every session you hit an upper body push, an upper body pull, a lower body push and a lower body pull, and on top of it some work for arms, shoulders, core and mobility. This way, even if you miss a session, nothing goes untrained for long. Your system is resilient and can deal with the unpredictability of your travel and professional life. The other key is training intensity. Most people confuse training hard with training long. They do endless sets at low intensity and wonder why they do not see results. Real training intensity means doing 2 to 5 hard sets per muscle group per session, performed close to failure. And failure means executing reps with the same form until the weight literally stops moving. This is a learnable skill, and once you have it, you get more results in less time than people spending twice as long in the gym. Now you have the nutrition framework and the training approach. But there is a reason most people still fail even when they know what to do. It comes down to the next component. Now think about this for a second. You probably know more about fitness and nutrition than your parents ever did. You have read the articles, you have watched the videos, you likely even have a shelf full of supplements. Information is not your problem. Implementation is. Most plans are built for a fantasy life. They assume you have time to meal prep every Sunday. They assume your calendar is predictable. They assume you do not have kids getting sick, flights getting cancelled, or deals closing that require celebration dinners. A real plan has to integrate into your actual life, not some idealized version of it that does not exist. So implementation means that the plan adapts to you. When something feels difficult, that gets communicated and the plan changes. It is not a dictatorship where you follow orders and feel guilty when you fail. It is a coaching relationship that allows for the plan to bend to your reality. You need help picking from a restaurant menu for tonight's dinner? Implementation. Traveling next week and need a hotel gym workout? Implementation. Having a wedding in 6 weeks and you want to look your best? Implementation. The people who get results are not the ones with the most willpower. They are the ones with systems that adapt when life throws curveballs, and life always throws curveballs. But even with the right information and the right implementation, there is one more component that determines whether you actually follow through. This is the unsexy part that makes all the difference. Here's my observation. If you hire a personal trainer, you get training covered, usually badly, and some accountability, that's it. If you hire a nutritionist, you get nutrition covered and almost no accountability. No single service addresses all 4 components: training, nutrition, implementation, and accountability. And that is exactly why most people yo-yo for years. Accountability means keeping track of what matters. Daily metrics like body weight, steps, and sleep. Weekly metrics like waist circumference and progress pictures. Then every week there's a review. Did you hit the target of 0.5 to 1.5% body weight loss? If yes, how do you repeat it? If no, why not, and what needs to change? So here's the part that most people miss. It is not the 3 hours per week you spend on training that transforms your body. It is the other 165 hours per week. That is why real accountability means communication multiple times a day. Food pictures, quick questions, real-time adjustments. This level of contact is what separates people who get results in weeks from people who spin their wheels for years. The weekly review is also when you plan ahead for the upcoming challenges, business dinners, travel, social events. Nothing catches you off guard because you have already strategized how to handle it. This is what makes results stick for years, not just weeks. So what does this actually look like when someone puts it all together? Let me show you real numbers from real people with schedules as busy as yours. Hopefully these concrete examples will show you that this is not simply theory. These are busy professionals with families, travel schedules, and social lives who refuse to put their lives on hold in order to get in shape. Sachin lost 16 kilograms in 23 weeks while having 5 meals out per week and never giving up alcohol. Cedric lost 10 kilos in just 10 weeks with 5 international trips during that time and an average of 2.5 restaurant meals per week. These are not people who lock themselves in a room with chicken and broccoli, these are people who learned to get results within their real constraints. Clinton got abs at 51 for the first time in his life after losing 14 kilos in 18 weeks. Katie got in the best shape of her life in 28 weeks at 46. Age is not the barrier, the wrong approach is. Beyond the scale, people resolved chronic issues like bloating, digestive problems like SIBO, and constant fatigue. Natalie lost 16 kilograms 7 years ago and has kept it off ever since. Mental health improved, energy improved, confidence improved. That is what happens when you build a system instead of following a fad. Listen, you can keep trying programs built for people with completely different lives. You can keep going to the gym without knowing if what you are doing actually works. You can keep feeling like this is the one problem in your life that you cannot solve. Or you can finally approach this the way you approach everything else that matters, with a system that actually fits your reality. If you finally want to make a change and start losing weight fast in 2026, then click the link in the description, book a call, and we can map out your game plan. We only work with people who are serious about making a change, so if that's you, I'll see you on the other side.